Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. My name is Dr. Boyce Watkins, and I want to say hi to everybody. And I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm actually in transit right now. Just took my daughter to school. She missed the bus, and it was a rough morning for us. It was raining. Her Halloween costume got ruined, and a lot of other crazy things happened today for her. So y'all gotta pray for her. You know how it is with kids and teenage girls. Every day is kind of the end of the world. So anyway, we figured out how to do the geometry homework, and I got her to school, and so we're ready to start the day. So anyway, guys, I wanted to ask you all. First off, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. Okay. If I can get a quick yes in the chat to know that my audio is good, that'll help me to know that I can move forward in the conversation. So give me a quick yes. Hey El Haj, and I see Aaron. Good morning to you. I see you. Just throw some yeses in there for me if you could. That way I'll know that you can hear me because when I'm driving, I don't know what my audio sounds like. All right, good. Okay, so let me kind of talk about something that was on my brain today. Yesterday I did our Powernomics book club meeting, and we were talking about this Black Men Summit that was hosted by BET. Did anybody see the Black Men Summit that was hosted? I mean, you probably heard about it. And maybe I watched a little bit of it. I didn't watch the whole thing. I don't want to watch the whole thing because it didn't take me long to kind of know that the game was rigged, to kind of know what the summit was for, right? The summit wasn't designed for the general well-being of black males because they could have had this summit all during the Biden Harris campaign. They could have put their weight behind black male initiatives on an epic scale, help millions of black men get money from businesses, get some of these brothers out of prison that should not be there to reverse the Biden crime bill. They could have been doing this stuff, for a very long time, but they didn't, right? They don't do these things. They don't even acknowledge you unless it's election time, right? They're no different from the guy who only calls you when he heard that you got your welfare check, or when he wants some ass, right? Like, so. So basically, the politicians they get horny and then they call you up and hope that you'll give them some. They're not looking for sex; they're looking for votes, and then after they get what they want, they disappear. You never hear from them again. Black men are a nuisance to them, especially black men who are independent and free thinkers. They don't have a lot of respect for that. So anyway, here's the deal. So I was talking about that last night. I kind of broke that down and kind of gave you my assessment on the sheer idea that it's somewhat insulting to presume that black men need to be told what to do, or that black men need to be corrected, or that black men are even willing to accept the idea of being chastised because we didn't do what you wanted us to do, right? How many of y'all know this? Give me a yes or no if you know this. Did you all know that black men, the percentage of black men who support Kamala Harris is higher than the percentage of white men that support Kamala Harris? How many of y'all knew that? Give me a yes in the chat if you knew that. How many of you knew that the percentage of black men who support Kamala Harris is higher than the percentage of Asian men who support Kamala Harris? Give me a yes or no if you knew that. How many of you know that the percentage of black men who support Kamala Harris is greater than the percentage of white women who support Kamala Harris? I mean, she's a fellow woman, right? And I want you to, and I make that point because it's crazy. Like they're not hosting a white woman summit to tell white women that you're stupid for not supporting Kamala. Something's wrong with you. You probably have sexism or racism or what. Like they're not doing that, right? They're not holding a summit for Jewish men, saying, well, you're only giving Kamala Harris 60% of your support, so something's wrong with you, right? And so that right there just speaks to the idea that these summits remind you that these people are not your friends. These people are your enemies. That's the first point I want to make. These are not people that have the interests of the black community at heart. They have the interests of the Democratic Party at heart. And what happens with the Democratic Party, as with the Republicans, is they have these black surrogates. They have these black employees like the DL Hugleys of the world who literally get out and they try to claim blackness as a characteristic of someone who is also a member of the Democratic Party. They try to say, well, the Republicans are racist, which means that if you are black, You cannot be a Republican, which is absolute nonsense. I know a lot of black Republicans who love the black community more than DL does. And so ultimately, this sort of trying to sort of occupy blackness as as a democratic attribute, that's a type of colonialism, by the way. They take what's valuable for you and they take it for themselves. They want to find what it is that you have that's worth anything, and they take it, just like they take your wealth, just like they take your freedom. They also want to take your access to democracy. They want to take your identity. They want to steal your culture. So anyway, with that said, here's another thought that I wanted to share as well. I want to talk about the black agenda, and I want you to process this for a minute, right? Um, Give me a yes or no. Do you think that the black agenda has been successful? Yes or no? Do you guys think that black people have really just been able to rise, and all this voting that we've been doing is really paying off? And we every time there's an election, we're right at the forefront of making sure that our favorite politicians get elected. Has that really led to positive transformational progress in the black community? Yes or no? Well, the answer is no. Most measures, most studies show that black life has not gotten better with all the voting. That's because politicians neglect you. They don't care about you. So I want you to think about this for a moment. So if you define whatever the fuck that they're doing as the black agenda, if you take whatever they're doing, and DL and Charlemagne and everybody else, if you take what they're doing and you call that the black agenda, then we know that the black agenda has been an epic fail. Now I want you to think about this though. Why would it not be an epic fail? Why would you expect anything other than an epic fail when your agenda is being led by comedians? Why would you expect your agenda to be successful when the analysis is being done by rappers? Why would you think that you would have anything other than a complete disaster in the black agenda when you have radio show hosts filling in for political scientists? See, you got to understand the issues of the black community run deep. They run very, very deep. And when we had the All Black National Convention, we weren't looking for famous rappers to bring to the convention, even though there were some rappers that we do welcome, like D1. D1's come to the convention on many occasions, but he's also a teacher. He's a scholar. He's a thinker. We're not looking for the funniest comedians, even though we did have comedians there that were really funny. But nobody sat down with a comedian at the convention and said, how do we solve the problems of the black community? Do you understand the difference? It doesn't mean comedians can't be intelligent. It doesn't mean that rappers can't be smart. It doesn't mean that athletes don't have something to say. But when you're letting the rappers, athletes, and comedians take the lead in your community, you're going to lose. You're not going to have a successful community. You're going to have a community that is as successful in life as the rappers are. Rappers are dying a dime a dozen. Rappers are dying every minute. Rappers are going to prison. Rappers are broke. Rappers have no infrastructure. Rappers have not achieved anything in terms of black progress. So why would you allow your agenda to be led by people who have shown a clear inability to build? A lot of rappers ain't even got no family. They can't even build a family. They can't even stay married to a black woman and raise black children in a healthy environment. But yet, when the election season comes, we're listening more to the rappers and comedians than we are to the people that actually know what the hell's going on. I think that's kind of a problem, don't you? That's like them coming to me and saying, Boyce, we want you to win an NBA championship. And I step in and I say, well, I can do what LeBron James does. I can be a basketball player. I can get in there and dunk a basketball if I try hard enough. We're gonna fail. The Lakers are not gonna win a game if they put me out there in the court. Even Bronny James is 6'1" is not necessarily a great addition to the team. So imagine if my 5'8" ass went out on the basketball court and was trying to win a championship, we would lose. So your community fails to win championships because you're not even putting the right players on the court. Do you understand the analogy? Do you get the point that I'm making? You don't succeed as a community because you've got entertainers leading your community. D.L. Hughley's a comedian. If you got a comedian leading the black community, then why would anybody think the black agenda would be anything other than a joke? Comedians tell jokes. That's what DL's known for. He's even reasonably good at it. But he's not. I don't know of him having a doctorate in political science. I don't know about DL having any kind of significant credentials in the field of black economics. I don't know about DL. Is he a social worker? Can he speak to the social issues in the black? Is he a therapist? Maybe he's a therapist. Maybe he can talk to how trauma has impacted black families at an epic level and literally caused a multi-trillion-dollar economic calamity, an economic genocide on the black community because of the destruction of the black family due to undiagnosed, untreated trauma. Can he articulate that? So what I'm saying is, look, Charlemagne, DL, all the guys that run these sports podcasts, I understand, I appreciate what they're trying to do. But what they got to do is they got to know when to pass the ball and pass the mic to the people that know what the hell they're talking about. And they got to stop ignoring the people that have the real solutions. How in the hell is it that you don't had a whole conversation about reparations and none of these platforms are even trying to speak to either Dr. Claude Anderson or people who understand powernomics? I have not seen Dr. Sandy Darity, an expert on reparations, in any of these forums. You should have people that know what they're doing if you're trying to fix an issue. You don't invite a basketball player to heart surgery unless you want the patient to die. The black community is the patient. The doctors are comedians. The doctors are rappers. The doctors are radio show hosts. And then the patient dies on the damn operating table, and we're like, what happened? What happened? It must be the racism. It's the racism that got him. You got to vote for me so we can fix the racism. No, we know exactly what happened. What happened was you had an unqualified person doing the procedure. That's what happened. That's what you had. That's what you did. So I'm gonna just say this in conclusion. BET, I would say BET should be ashamed of trying to host that Black Male Summit. But if you know anything about the history of BET, you'll know that they've always done things like this. They're probably making tremendous amounts of money from this. They're in the business of making money to manage and control black people. And some black people want to be managed. Some black people want to be controlled. Some black people want to be told what to do. Some black people love to be herded like sheep. Most people are sheep. Just so you know, 70% studies show that 70% of all people will follow the crowd, even if the crowd is wrong. That's just a fact. So I know that this message is not going to be popular among sheep. It's not going to make certain people happy, and that's what it is. That's life. But the people I'm talking to are the people who are committed to doing something different. The people that I'm talking to are the people who understand that what we've been doing over and over and over and over and over and over and over again has not been successful. The people that I'm talking to are the people who are open to alternative solutions and interpretations of the problem that we have and really seeking to actually address it and fix it and not just pretend to fix it. Those are the people I'm talking to. And I know that you're rare, you're few and far between, but in my mind, you're the talented 10th. When they say we need a few good men and women, that's what I'm thinking about. I think about people that just kind of understand. Everybody else, they can do what they're going to do. If they're going to be frustrated, they're going to be sick. They're going to be having the same problems 30 years from now that they're having right now. They're going to find that the politicians are going to disappoint them as they always do, and um, they're going to be sad. They're just going to be sad because we've sort of interpreted blackness to literally just be a state of perpetual sadness. Blackness is seen as like this hopelessness. And what happens is that the hopelessness gets exploited by the pimps. The pimps come along and they see your sad, hopeless ass and they say, vote for me or it's going to get worse. They don't say vote for me and I'll make sure it gets better. They don't say that. They don't say, hey, here's how we're making it better. Here's how we're solving problems. We'd like your continued support so we can make your life better. They don't do that. What they do is they say, you're already in pain. You're already getting your ass kicked. You're already being destroyed. But if you don't vote for us, then the little bit you have is going to be taken. They literally get you operating in a scarcity mindset. They get you operating out of fear. If you notice, pay attention. They don't sit around and explain why they're going to be different and how they're going to fix things. They tell you how terrible the other party is and that if you don't give us your vote, then you're going to die. You're going to lose democracy. Your life is going to come to an end. This is the most important election of your lifetime. I don't know how many goddamn times they've told me that this is the most important election of your life of our lifetime. I'm serious. Does anybody else notice this, or is it just me? Am I the only one? Or does anybody else notice that every fucking election? I'm sorry, I'm gonna stop cussing. I'm just mad about this. Does anybody notice how every damn election is the most important election of our lifetime? Has anybody else ever noticed that? It's the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. Like, wait, I thought you said the 2020 election was the most important election of our lifetime. I thought when you told me vote or die, talk about that as a trauma response. Talk about that as a way to pimp traumatize people. Vote or die. Remember when Diddy did that? Remember when Diddy was their guy? Diddy was hanging out with Barack Obama and kicking it with the leading Democrats as they were all running to Diddy parties doing only God knows what. Right? And they were like, vote or die. If you don't vote for me, you're gonna be dead. Well, I didn't vote for you back then either, and I ain't dead. I didn't die that day. So what I'm saying to you is any threats, basically politicians lack credibility in two key areas. Two key areas. One, they lack credibility with their threat of the absolute apocalyptic disaster if you don't do what they tell you to do. Because they do it every election. Every election they tell you it's the most important election of your lifetime. Democracy is going to come to an end. Vote or die. If you don't vote, they're gonna have y'all in chains. I think Joe Biden literally said that. They're gonna have y'all in chains. He said that many years ago. So that's the first thing. They lack credibility with their threat. Politics is contingent. Most political science theory says that a lot of politics and negotiation is driven by a credible threat. You must have a credible threat to have negotiating power. Their threat has no credibility. The second area where they have no credibility is in the promises that they make. There's a saying that says you should never trust a man to do tomorrow what he could have done yesterday. Anybody get that comment? Anybody feel what I just said? I'll say it again. You should never trust a man to do tomorrow what he could have done yesterday. So, has anybody ever had like a drug addict in your family? Or maybe somebody who's addicted to just dumbass behavior. And every time they come to you with a disaster or an emergency and they tell you that you have to give them money by tomorrow or terrible things are going to happen. And then you say, well, I'm tired of you always asking me for money. I'm tired of you ruining your life and then having me clean up the mess for you. I'm tired of it. And then what do they always do? What do they always do? They always promise you that this is the last time. They promise you that things are going to change. Right? But it never changes. Pookie ain't gonna stop smoking crack. Your sister ain't gonna stop choosing to date terrible men. Your brother in jail ain't gonna stop going to jail. It's all words. It's all words from an addict, somebody who's addicted to bad behavior. And the reason it hasn't changed, it ain't even their fault. See, you gotta understand that a crackhead's gonna be a crackhead. Crackheads are not productive people in your life, but they are definitely consistent. So you can't blame a crackhead for being a crackhead. That's what they do. The person to blame is actually you. It's you. The reason they keep coming back to you with the same BS stories, it's because you the sucker. You keep falling for it. The reason they keep on making promises to you that they're never going to keep is because because you want to believe that they love you when they've shown you that they don't. You want to believe that man is going to change his behavior. You want to believe that that woman is finally going to level up and be a good woman to you. You want to believe these things, but unfortunately, you become an enabler. Thank you, Renee. Excellent words. You become an enabler to their behavior. So, so here's the deal. Look, when I'm talking like this, I'm not sitting around just being mad at the Democrats. I understand how the politicians operate. I understand money. I have a whole PhD in money. Did y'all know that? I hope you know that. My doctorate's in money from the Ohio State University. Go Buckeyes. You can find my PhD online if you want to go read it. And so I understand how money flows and how money grows. And I understand what money knows. And basically, what is happening is that your politicians, they're there for the money. And they always get it. Kamala Harris and Trump each has to raise over $1 billion to run for president. Donald Trump is going to be richer after he goes to the White House, if he makes it, than he was before he got there. Kamala Harris and Dougie, her husband Dougie, are going to be very wealthy and very powerful for the rest of their lives. So I'm not really talking about the Democrats. I'm not, or the Republicans. I'm talking about you. I'm saying that their behavior will change when your behavior changes. When you stop enabling the lies and the deceit and the nonsense and the false threats and the ridiculousness, when you stop enabling that, they're going to stop doing it to you. Because here's the thing, tell me if you agree with this. They approach the black community differently from how they approach any other community. Am I lying? The way they approach black people in election season is absolutely unbelievable, shocking, and appalling. They do not approach Jewish people like that. They would get laughed at. They would be shut down. They don't approach other communities like that. They approach you this way because you're a descendant of slaves and you are trained to be an enabler. So I'm just going to tell you, look, you can do whatever you want to do, but I will tell you exactly where I stand. I stand with the community of people who are sick of the nonsense. I stand with those people who are done with the BS. I stand with the people who know that our community will be fixed by us and nobody else. I stand with the community who really wants to build strong black families. I stand with the community that wants to improve black mental health and physical health. I stand with the community that wants black folks to have enough wealth and income so that we can't be controlled by the same people who've oppressed us for 400 years. I do not stand with any of these politicians. That is where I stand. So I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I represent. And I'm real clear about that, real consistent with this. This is not going to change. So anyway, guys, I got to get out of here. Hit the thumbs up button, thumbs up, share, subscribe. I have a new book out. It's called The 10 Commandments of Black Economic Power. Feel free to take a look at drboycebooks.com. And also, this podcast is on Spotify. It's called the Dr. Boyce Breakdown. So feel free to find my podcast on Spotify if this type of content is your cup of tea. I know it's not for everybody, but if it's for you, then I got you. I'm going to be here every day. And we're going to do our, also we do, because we are solution oriented. I don't just mention the problem. I work to solve the problem. So every morning we do economic elevation training. It is 100% free to anybody that wants to be better at economics. I will tell you that whether a Democrat wins or a Republican wins, rich people always win in America. Let's just be clear. People that got money in America always win. So if you want your family to win in every election, then then get some wealth up in your house. If you want to be successful, no matter who's in office, then have some economics. Brother Nuri Muhammad spoke at the All Black National Convention, the last one that we just had. And one thing Brother Nuri said that was really great is he talked about the Asian community. He said the Asian community, they don't even vote that much. He said the Asian community, they're not sitting on a lot of school boards. They're not sitting around, trying to figure out how to vote for the right politician. He said, but their income is higher than black people. If you would think, if income was measured or affected by voting, then we would have higher incomes. We would have higher wealth. Asians aren't really involved in politics on any level in America, to some levels, but not at the same level as black people. But their wealth is higher than black people. And so what he said is that the Asian community has economics with no politics, and black people have politics with no economics. So you got to ask yourself, which do you want? Do you which is more important? I'm not telling you not to vote. I don't tell people who to vote for, and I don't tell them whether they should vote or not. I respect you no matter what you choose to do. But I want to ask you, after this election's over, what are you doing for your family? And I'll say this: if these Negroes worked as hard for their community as they work for these damn politicians, the black community would be unstoppable. If we put as much energy into ourselves as we put into these voter campaigns, if we would win. If we raised as much money for ourselves as we raise to get some politician elected because she cooks collard greens in the bathtub, we would be on top of the world. If we put as much energy into building black-owned schools as we put into voting for politicians who will support white-owned schools, then we would have the best educational process on the planet. Our kids would be educated. They wouldn't be like the Chicago public school kids where they have dozens of schools, mostly black, where not one single child can read or do math at grade level. What are you voting for? What are you supporting? What is it that where's your win? I just want to know. Because if it's working, then you should be able to show me a ton of evidence that it's working. You can't show me any evidence. All you know how to do is get mad. All you know how to do is get pissed at me. That's all you got. Psychologists call that cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance is when somebody brings an idea to you and it is so radically different from the way you were trained to think that your first reaction is just to get pissed off. You ain't got no solution. You ain't showing me how this is working. I can show you what's working. I can show you black people that I have worked with in the black business school, which you can join for free, by the way, where they are now wealthier than they were before. Oh, I can show you testimonial after testimonial of black families that are better off than they were before. I can show you a brother I spoke to yesterday with his wife who told me that before I heard from you, I was on the wrong path. I was really struggling, and now I love my wife, and now we're gonna get married. Sorry, she had just got married. He said that made me get married. That made me want to do the right thing for my family. That made me want to build for the future. I can show you results. The Democrats can't show you no damn results because they ain't got none. The Republicans can't show you any results for the black community because they ain't got none. So stop getting mad and start using your damn brain. And the world ain't gonna stop spinning because you mad at me. What are you gonna do different? Albert Einstein once said, and most people aren't that smart, so they're not even gonna appreciate this quote. He once said that you can never solve a problem with the same thinking that created the problem in the first place. So one thing that we know for sure is that something is going to have to change. Something's going to have to change. If you keep thinking the way you've been thinking for the last 10, 15, 20 years, you're never going to win. Things are never going to change. You're going to pass the same cultural, social, and financial and generational STDs down to your children that you have right now. These same psychological and spiritual STDs that you have are going to be passed to your kids, and then 30 years from now they're going to be sitting around sad because white people are mean, because white people don't give me no job. White people don't, they just bet these racist Republicans, they don't be doing right by us. And 30 years from now, in the year 2054, they're going to be doing the same nonsense. They're going to tell them this is the most important election of your lifetime, and if you don't give us your vote, then it's going to destroy democracy, and it's going to be the same damn game played over and over and over again. That's what it is. And I remember I heard somebody say, well, Boyce, I kind of hear what you're saying, but this ain't the right time. Well, when is the right damn time? You really think that using your leverage, that it's best to use your leverage when you have none? Let me explain it. Do you know that Amazon workers were gonna go on strike, and you know when they went on strike? They went on strike right when Amazon needed them the most. They went on strike right when Amazon was about to make the most money, when Amazon was having Prime Day. That's when they went on strike because they knew that that was when they would have leverage. Learn how to negotiate, Negro. Negotiation, you don't do, you have to be a complete sucker to be like, well, this ain't the right time, so I'm going to go to the White House and ask for what I want when after they gets elected, after they gets into the White House and gets comfortable and they don't need us no more. That's when I'm going to show up and politely ask them if they going to help us out. That don't work. You must go to Jamal Bryant's church or something, because only a buffoon would think that way. What kind of idiot would think that you're gonna get more when they have no pressure to give you anything, when they need nothing from you? You negotiate and you press when the urgency is there. When they say, "Hey, I really need you," you say, "Great. Let me tell you what I need from you first." So sometimes we just don't even know the basics of negotiation. So don't tell me this is the wrong time to bring it up. No, this is the perfect time to bring it up. Because if I bring this stuff up in a month, they're not going to listen to anything. I got to go. We're doing economic elevation class at 10 a.m. Everybody's invited. You don't have to agree with me politically to understand that your economics matters. If you would like to join us at 10 a.m. Eastern, text the word morning to the number 87948. I will send out a text in a little bit and invite you to class. Text morning to 87948. And then also, just as an FYI, if you want to also get started on wealth and all this other stuff, feel free to go to blackmoney101.com. I don't teach money, I teach black money. Black money is righteous money. Black money is where you understand that money is power. Black money is generational wealth. Black money is more valuable than regular money because it's the money that circulates, it's the money that builds, it's the money that grows, and it's not the money that comes from a black job. I hate to say this to you and I hate to hurt people's feelings, but I'm going to say this as a person with a PhD in money. Black jobs do not create black wealth. You've been having black jobs since slavery. Black jobs do not create black wealth. They do not create black prosperity. Black jobs don't do any of those things. The things that create black wealth are black real estate. You create black wealth through black stock market ownership. You create black wealth through black owned businesses. So stop talking to me about a damn black job. I'm happy that you got a black job, but I need you to look around and look at how many millions of people that got good black jobs who are still complaining about their economic situation, don't have financial security, can't take a day off, aren't prepared for retirement, and are underwater financially in a multitude of ways. And you tell me what a black job does for a black person. I'm just tired of it. I'm not interested in going for the okie doke. I'm not interested in being Have a good day. God bless you. And feel free to go to blackmoney101.com if you want to get started with some of the stuff we do in the Black Business School. Love you. Have a great day. Talk to you soon. Peace.